alternator for the bus. As everybody knows, we have a 1998 Ford E-350, 7.3 liter diesel engine. So it's gonna take a nice alternator on this guy. The one that's already in here was remanufactured, and I really wanted to get a new one just because, you know, where this place is gonna be. This bus is gonna be going far. It's gonna take a lot of beating, so I want to get a nice one. Alternators usually last 100,000 to 150,000 miles, give or take. So I will let you know how to place it. Fairly easy. I've really never done this before. I really don't know anything about engines, mechanics, nothing. So I looked up a YouTube video and I thought I'd share what I've learned with y'all, just in case you need it. I'm messing up. It didn't have a good charge at all, so I got a little bit better one. The Duralast Gold. But yeah, the first step is to disconnect the negative on the battery and just make sure it's not touching anything so it doesn't ground out. Then we are going to, right down here, this little square right here. If it focuses, maybe not. You have to stick a got this little breaker bar right here, and it should work good. Stick it in there, loosen it up. Oh well. And that will relieve the tension on the belt. All we do is set the belt off the alternator, then we unplug the items in the back, and it should, after you do the 3 bolts, it should just come right out and put the new one right in. So I'll record as it go on. Yes, just disconnected that, and now it's fairly simple. Have this right in that little slot right over there. You should have a square bit on the end of it. You should take it and just loosen it up. It is a good push, so 1 second. So all I did was I stuck it in there, gave it a good tug to the left, hold it there, slid the belt off, and you really don't want to let that belt fall down there because it will unravel everything, and that just looks like a whole lot of mess to do if you don't really know anything about it. So I went ahead and I wedged the belt in between the bar I just used. A little bit sandy, but yeah, it is off. And now it is time to unplug the back and unscrew these 3 bolts. And got all the bolts out. The only one that really ended up working was the 13mm for this bus build. So we removed 1, 2, and 3. So we're just have to pull it out and unplug the 3 plugs in the back, and I will show you what that looks like when we get there. So I have a cut here to the AutoZone website. What this website does is help people like me or other people out there who really don't know anything about mechanics or what parts to get, or doesn't really have any guidance there. Luckily, I have some people to help me, but a lot of people don't. So this website here is actually amazing. It's just AutoZone.com. I will go ahead and type in my the year, the make, the model of the vehicle. Scroll down here, and it'll actually tell you that that said thing fits your vehicle. So for here, I type oil. I click oil, and that green check mark right under it, it lets me know that it fits my vehicle, and it's completely compatible with the car. But in this instance, I am looking for an alternator. So as you can see here, I'm typing it in, and there you are. I actually don't go with the top 2 options, but it does say fit your vehicle. So I recommend this a lot.
I helped.
Yeah, she did. So after we got the alternator out, it sets on this little pedestal right here, this little mounting station. And there is this wire, and where is the other wire, Angel?
Where's the other wire?
There's these 2.
This one, it was this one, and then this small one.
And that small one.
Yeah.
and a little bolt went on the end of
This one.
that one. And make sure that doesn't touch anything so it doesn't ground out.
Yep.
But here we are.
Look at those bad boys.
And if you actually look at them, these two dots right here indicate that it's 135 amps, and if there's 4 dots, it'd be 95 amps. So just for future reference, they look fairly the same. See, this one was remanufactured before, but they do have the same plugins. 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are just gonna slide it in and then just re-plug it in. This one, that is where the bolt and the battery plug-in is. That's where that small little thing goes, and this one is where that big one, the big one goes. But before we go ahead and do that, we have our bolts right here. This one's to our actual battery. These are to the alternator. And just get either a sandpaper or a steel wool brush. I'm just gonna scrub these down. I'm actually gonna go in and scrub down this base, because what I have seen is that it all is gonna it all kind of matters when it's charging and everything. So yeah, I will let you know when it's all plugged in and ready to go. So I went in with my little brush here, and I scrubbed down all the bolts as well as the mounting station. Looks a little bit nicer. And all we're going to do is take that alternator and we're just going to put it on the mount for now. Plug the 1, 2, and 3 in as it looks. As soon as you put it in, left side goes on, middle, and then right. And then we just screw back on the bolts and wiggle that belt back on. So as we could see, we hooked that guy back in, this guy back in, and this guy back in. So all we're gonna do is take the alternator, match it up with the mounts, and put her back on. Went ahead and got all the bolts in. It is nice and sturdy. Everything's hooked up. So now we're just gonna need to attach that, our little tensioner pulley thing, back to where we had it, right down there. If it zooms in, right there. Loosen up the tension, slide it right back on. So yeah, there we go. Our alternator is finally in. Plugged up these two batteries back, plugged up the battery underneath their back. So yeah, I hope this video helped somebody. I just gotta put the engine intake back on because I forgot to show you that in the video, but simple enough. Yeah, hope everybody has a good day, and remember, unplug all your batteries if you're working on electrical. It is very important that you do that. I'll see you.